Recently, Megabass dropped 8 special limited run colors in the Vision OneTen Plus One Junior. We are going to break each one of these colors down, make sure you guys know what each one is, because this is a one and done deal, at least for the next year, and I want to make sure you guys have a shot at scooping these up if they speak to you. So if you want to geek out on some really, really dope colors, let's have some fun for a few minutes. Let's go. Welcome back, my friends. I am Ben with the Hookup Tackle, a Tackle Otaku on Instagram, being joined by my buddy CJ. What's up, CJ?
How's it going, man?
Time no see here in the store. Today, we are doing a very simple episode where we're basically just breaking down the 8 limited edition special run colors that Megabass made in the Vision OneTen Plus One Junior. Now, these are colors that we dropped a few weeks ago on our What's New video. A lot of you guys scooped them up. Thank you guys for your business. The reason why we're breaking this down is kind of twofold. A, bought the rest of them to give you guys a chance to scoop them up if they speak to you. And B, I think a lot of these colors are still flying under the radar for guys because they haven't really seen them up close and personal and understand that this is scheduled as a one-time drop. This was kind of a special color, palette presentation, I guess you could say, that Megabass of America did as a special limited drop. It's possible they come back again, but not, the soonest we would see them would be, maybe a year, 2 years out. Okay, so these are, once they're gone, they're going to be gone for a while, and I just didn't want you guys to miss out. So we're just going to geek out for a minute. We're going to go through these colors because they're very, very cool colors. Some of these colors have been done before on, respect drops or bento boxes, and then some of these colors have never been done before in this bait. Well, actually, as far as I know, none of these colors have been done in this bait in the Plus One Junior. So let's start right here. This is a color that, I'm super excited about. This is called Persia. Persia is a color that we almost never see from Megabass. The or you could say IL, is basically short for illusion, okay? And it's gonna have this illusion paint on the back. And basically it's a color shifting paint that's gonna shift from the purples to the greens to the blues to the golds. So depending on, where the light is, when it hits that back, that color is going to shift and give you a really cool look. You've got a little pearlescent on the cheek. You've got that beautiful kind of pearl belly down there with that kind of bluish purple pearl highlight to the clear sides and that really cool kind of sunken eye. So all together, you get this really dope package. It's very unique. It's the perfect bait. Now, CJ, we throw a lot of jerk baits together. It's a bait that we throw here, out west, pretty much year round.
It's a staple.
We kind of are fortunate that way to where jerk bait always works.
Yep.
A 110 is always a staple for us, but the OneTen Plus One Junior, I don't think I've ever gone fishing with you where you haven't had this tied on, whether it's just running the bank or scoping. What is it about this size for anybody that's maybe curious about jumping into Megabass? It's not a Megabass. What is it about this particular bait that you like so much?
So for me, it's profile, but the depth too. To get it deep with that profile. Okay. I think it's just like that perfect all-around shad style or shad size for just getting bit.
And I should point out that, this is a bait that's really going to shine in that like 8 to 10 foot zone out of the package. So out of the package, all of these are designed, it'll say suspend on them, but they're more of like a super slow float. So the 110 series is designed as you twitch it, right? All the lips are semi-flexible, so they're going to give you that kind of 2-in-1 kind of action.
Yep.
And then on the paws, they are going to sit nose down, and they're going to very slowly kind of quiver up. Now, this is water temp dependent, right? So as it gets very, very hot or very, very cold, that may adjust the sink rate or the float rate. They might float faster, they might sink a little bit. It'll also depend on, your line, your hook size. I know, CJ, you do much more scoping than I do. But when
Yep.
you scope with this thing, are you weighting it? Or are you changing the hooks? What is your preferred way to get it to kind of sink down? At the
Most of the time, just weighting it. I like to
Okay.
keep the hooks as compact as possible. Just keep
Okay.
profile because our
Yep.
lakes are generally pressured more clear, right?
Yep.
So if I can add like one small weight strip underneath the chin and just let the bait get down there,
Yep.
in my opinion, best way to scope it.
Cool. Cool. So, you know, it's definitely a bait that I would recommend adding to your arsenal. It will become a daily staple for a lot of you guys if you're fortunate enough to live in areas where the fish hang in that 8 to 10 foot zone. They suspend, they come up to feed, anything like that. The +1 Junior is super dope. So there's color number 1, Il Persia.
Still, bruh.
All right, color number 2. This is a color that they've done before in a lot of their baits, but never done before in the +1 Junior, and this is TLC. I'm gonna take it out of the package. We'll open each one so we can really get a good look at it. Now, TLC is a staple in their special run lineup. There's a lot going on with this color, right? So you have that kind of chartreuse bottom, which is a critical kind of key trigger factor, especially in the spring. So if you guys live in a place where you throw a jerkbait a lot between, I'd say like January through May, right? That kind of spring window, the chartreuse bottom is just an amazing trigger. You have that kind of two-tone back, okay? So you have that kind of purplish scale back that kind of fades to almost like a white pearl on, you know, the back shoulder. And then you have this transparent amber side that also fades into like a clearish white on the back. So you get this kind of really interesting illusion where you have a semi-transparent bait that still has some body, still has some color, but then they're getting hit with that yellow flash on the bottom. It's a great trigger bait, largemouth, smallmouth, either way. But you know, in the spring or when you're fishing in those conditions where maybe it's half shade, half light, and you're working right on an edge and you want to move it from the light into the shade and then give them just a little bit of hit where they get a little bit of that color, I would recommend this color a lot. So there you go. There's color number 2. There's TLC.
I feel like that one would do good in like those bodies of water that have clearish tannic water.
Totally.
Get money for that.
It's natural, but it's still got enough oomph to it. All right. Color number 3, GLX Ghost Moroko OB.
This one's dope.
This is a really fun one. So this is a color that if you guys are old school bento box subscribers, this is a color that we did several years ago in the 110 and Pop Max. They are doing it now in the +1 Junior as a special offering. Lots going on with this. Okay, so usually when you see GLX, right, usually it's a really bright, lots of glitter. When you think of, you know, well, any of the other GLXs, basically, it's usually got a lot of body to it. This is a unique one in where it's still really transparent, but it has that kind of 3D scale effect going through it. You've got all kinds of color shifts going on, from blues to purples to reds. You've got the kind of teal lateral line going down. You have that illusion paint on the back. It's just a really, really cool bait that limits that real bright GLX just to that little piece right there. You've got body, you've got transparency, you've got color, you've got natural, you've got a little bit of everything in a really fun package. There you go, the GLX Ghost Moroko OB.
That one screams early spring smallmouth.
Yeah, that one's fun, right?
Just
Yeah,
a cool
anytime
scheme.
they're on red, but you need it to be a little bit different. Okay, next color, GLX Natural Effect. Now, I think this is one of those that you almost need to have out of the package to see the bait. And again, the effect part of it is going to speak to what happens to this bait when you hold it up to the light. So what you're seeing is kind of a blue pearl base. Okay,
Yep.
So it's kind of an all-around blue pearl base. It has that GLX, the flake in the back. It's kind of a hologram silver flake, and then it goes to that kind of scale blue back. What I'm saying is I'm seeing almost a transparent light chartreuse amber. So this is almost like, you know, the albino pearl mag draft, the albino pearl shad. You know, when you have it here, it's got that real kind of reddish
Yep.
pearl white to it. But then when you hold it to the light, it turns to that kind of tealish chartreuse.
Yep.
The same thing's happening here. Okay,
Dirty.
so you're getting that almost identical, that kind of tealish chartreuse vibe when the light hits it. So this is a really special one and a very, very cool one. It's just sneaky because when the light's hitting it, it's kind of plain, but when you see it in and out of the light, it's a very, very cool bait, and it has that cool effect, thus the name, the GLX Natural Effect. Okay, so there you go. There's color number. I guess we're to 4 already, halfway through.
Yeah, 4. Damn, I'm a sucker for GLX. It looks so good.
It's
on,
dirty
every
when it's
date.
done right
Yeah.
and not overly bright. Okay, this next one is a staple in pretty much all the other lines of jerkbaits, and this is SBOB Shad. Okay, so SBOB Shad is a very straightforward, simple color. It's a color that flew under the radar for years and years and years of Megabass. It's been in their lineup for over a decade, and a lot of people just didn't really appreciate it, myself included. And one day, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I was actually going through all the colors that we had in the store, and I was like, what colors don't I ever throw? I'm curious why I don't throw them. And I went through and I grabbed some of them, and I pulled this one off. I'm like, why the hell have I never thrown this thing? And so we took it out and we threw it, and they just absolutely destroyed it. And now it's kind of become a staple for many of us in our box. So here you go, SBOB Shad. It is a transparent, a full clear bait, right? So you got clear on the belly, clear on the sides. You've got a little bit of this kind of gizzard shaddy, kind of bronzish gold shoulder that kind of goes to like a darker black. But underneath is, it's painted orange. Okay, so what happens is when it flashes and moves, you get just a little bit of that kind of illusion color flash and that hit of orange, that hit of red, right? And it just gives them a little bit of a trigger. So when it's still and they're looking at it kind of sideways, it's super natural. But when that bait moves, all of a sudden it gives them 2 different profiles because they're seeing that kind of orange and they're seeing the dark. Orange, dark. Right? Orange dark. So it creates this kind of blinking under the water that's just a great natural trigger effect for the fish. So SBOB Shad, there's color number 5.
That might be one of the sneakiest ones.
Yeah, it's simple and crazy effective. Okay. Color number 6. This one I'm really excited about. This color, as far as I know, the first introduction for me anyways to this color was in the Ito Shiner, and that's GLX Galaxy Shiner. Okay, now this has always been one of the strangest named baits for me. Maybe there's shiners that exist in the world that have bluegill colors and bars to them.
Have stripes?
I don't know. Why it's not called GLX Galaxy Bluegill, I'll never know. But this color was thrown on the radar for me about a decade ago when all the guys were still fishing the Elite Series. There was an Elite Series event on Sinclair, and KVD, Brent Ayler, Brett, like all, you know, Edwin Evers, all those guys were just destroying them on this color in the Ito Shiner. It just thrusted it on my radar. And again, this is one of those special colors, a lot like GLX Natural Effect, where you almost need the 2 lights to grasp it. So what you guys are seeing is different than what I'm seeing based on where the light is hitting, right? So you're gonna have that kind of pearlescent belly with a little hit of orange, a little hit of chartreuse. It's gonna fade up to a kind of a decent body. You're getting a lot of that GLX flake in there. You're getting the illusion bars. So each one of those kind of gill bars is an illusion paint. So it's gonna shift from a green to a blue to a purple, right? And then it's gonna go to that kind of full GLX back. And it's got kind of a greenish pearl vibe coating to it. Now, what you're seeing is very full bodied and very bright. What I'm seeing, and when you hold this up to the light or when the light back hits it, it goes completely transparent. So it turns almost like a violet, like a clear violet color, and you just see the bar markings. So everything kind of disappears, and you just get this kind of like baby bluegill pattern. It's dirty.
Shiner,
okay?
you mean?
Shiner.
So, okay.
Yeah, striped shiner, which is everywhere. If you guys fish around places where they feed heavily on bluegill, on perch, on tilapia, on anything that kind of has those vertical bars, striped shiners, this would be a great one to have in your arsenal. I've caught them on this thing in muddy water. I've caught them on this thing in crystal clear water. Even though it seems very bright, it's surprisingly not, okay? And one more kind of tip too that we can talk about. You were talking about how the light changes it based on, you know, where it's hitting, right? Well, think of that too in your fishing. when you're casting, what angle is the fish staring at the bait, right? Now, oftentimes we don't know, right? The sun might be here, and we might be thinking, okay, the fish is looking this way, right? So if we throw it here, it's going to be backlit, right? That would be kind of basic thinking. And for the most part, you're probably right. But sometimes there might be grass and stuff, and so the fish might just be swimming around. So they might be sideways, or they might be, to the sun or wherever. But the cool thing about these kind of baits that have this different effect is, remember, this is a jerk bait. So it's not like an eye motion bait that's just going one way. This thing is moving left and right, right? It's flashing, it's moving side to side. So they're gonna see full sun, no sun, full sun, no sun, right? So as these things are moving, it's just giving that cool effect. So there you go. A staple, GLX Galaxy,
yeah,
shiner.
Sick. I'm gonna go as far to say that I think it looks better in that bait than the Ito shiner.
Well, there's something sexy about this size bait.
Yeah,
it just looks so edible, right? So yeah, I almost agree.
I'm biased.
With you. Yeah. SG Kasumi reaction. This is color number 7. So this was a respect color. Maybe 2 years ago. Year and a half, 2 years ago. Kind of before the +1 Junior really became a thing or took off. So very cool to see it come in this color. This is a fun one because anything in that SG has a semi-transparent body. So again, you're seeing full body. I'm seeing semi-transparent, but it has also that kind of pearl coating to it. So it's very natural. This one has kind of a purplish pearl. It has the illusion paint on the back, so you're going to shift from the purple to the blue to the green. It transitions to kind of a teal green, kind of tiger stripe on there. And then you get that contrasting kind of really faint orange belly, the red eye. So again, everything about this is just speaking. I mean, this thing just screams smallmouth, or it screams like if you guys are catching them during like fire tiger season or chartreuse and blue, that kind of stuff. This would give you a nice natural version of that that's not overly gaudy. That kind of bridges that gap. I think you guys will really, really dig this. So SG Kasumi Tiger is color number 7.
That one's sick.
All right, and then color number 8 is perhaps my favorite color ever made in a jerkbait. We ran this in a bento. This is one of our original bento colors, and it's one of the few colors that I'm not a big like collector or person that puts things, like hides things. This is one of the few in my 110 box that it only comes out for very, very special or specific occasions, and that's frozen tequila.
Yep.
Okay. Now, Megabass has run this color a couple of times since we did that original bento drop, and I know it's become a lot of your favorites. They're adding this color as core in some items, so like you can get this color now in crankbaits and in lipless and in the Vibration X. But in the jerkbaits, they're still running it as a special run color. So for me, this is basically, instead of getting like the matte Pro Blue, this is, for me, the matte finish that you need. Okay, so on a cloudy day, on a dark day, on a stormy day, on a windy day, if you're fishing shade, this color is just ridiculous. Yeah. Like there's something about this combo that they've eaten everywhere. I've taken largemouth, smallmouth. It's probably my number 1 smallmouth confidence color. It's a transparent body. Okay, again, when the light's hitting it, it almost completely disappears to almost like a perfect kind of grayish clear. But from where you guys are, you're seeing the kind of purple blue back, that kind of matte purple gray side, and then again that kind of real faint orange belly. Again, it's just kind of the perfect combination that as it shifts, it turns some, you get shades of chartreuse, you get shades of purple, you get shades of red from that red eye. You basically get everything yummy, I guess, to a bass in one package. So if you were going to get one of these, I would get this just because it has a special place in my heart, especially if you guys live anywhere where you get stormy days, cloudy days that you're going to go and fish.
Absolutely.
Okay, there you go. Color number 8, frozen tequila. All right, guys, and there you go. So there are the 8 limited edition special run colors Megabass did in the 110 Plus 1 Junior. If any of those speak to you, scoop them up. What we have is all there is. So when they're gone, they're either going to be gone for good, which I would say half of these colors are because they went deep to pull like GLX Natural Effect and Persia and some of these. That we will see these again at some point. But like I said, there's nothing scheduled on production. There's no talks of doing it again. So, you know, at least for the next year or so, this is gonna be it. So if they speak to you, I'd scoop them up. If you have questions on anything we talked about, hit me below. Of course, you can find me on Instagram anytime. And for now, on behalf of myself and CJ and everybody here at the Hookup Tackle, guys, thank you for your business. Thank you for watching these videos. Enjoy those special colors in the Plus 1 Junior, and we will see you again very soon. For now, it's peace. Later.
See you guys.